Welcome back to Kamen Rider Review, episode 101. Second bar before we reach episode 200. What series be that one? I have no idea. It depends on what could be episode 200, what series work on that point. It is something, though, that when it comes to this series, that it takes Kamen Rider Black to be, which is also the penultimate series under the Showa era, and that is the one where that one is basically like at 100. I kind of predicted that. The only reason why it's up this high is because basically not only all the most of the shorter stuff, but because I also reviewed the opening Heisei series Kuga, which I believe was the previous series I reviewed. I reviewed thereafter. I think I did Super 1. Yep. So, in the case of this particular video, we're discussing episodes 13, no, I think it's 11 to 14 of Kamen Rider Black. In these episodes, in the first one, basically, it's all about the Star Mutants. Yeah, apparently the mutants basically, they apparently woke up too many, so the mutants are fighting each other over food. So the priests basically use one of their monsters to deal with this problem by having the bat monster just infect a whole bunch of frickin' people. And you're thinking, okay, so who is the one that does this, you might ask? Is it a Les mutant? Like, which one is it? It's actually the cactus mutant. Yes, believe it or not, the frickin' cactus mutant. It is quite interesting. Yeah, he's one responsible for this. Yeah, and it's interesting that the Bat Mutant is involved with this one. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird. But it's a very interesting story, and I do enjoy it. Though the whole thing with that fruit they have to eat, yeah, that's never mentioned ever again. And as a response for destroying the blade to grow them, the high priest decided to freeze a lot of the ones they basically woke up because there is not enough food. So I think that was a smart idea. You woke up too many, so we have this problem. In the case of episode 12, we have the debut of a brand new thing. Well, it's known as the Road Sector. It's like a motorcycle that Kamen Black uses. And this is strange, though, that this episode, like, oh, he gets a brand new motorcycle. This happens to air like 5 days for Christmas. Yeah, seriously. Oh, in case you're curious, though, is there a Christmas episode when it comes to Black? Nope. Because the very next episode pretty much basically airs 2 days after Christmas. Yeah. I do enjoy the whole idea of having the second one. Like, is the battle harp been dropped? Not sure, actually. It's possible, but it's there. But it's interesting they introduced a second one for him. Not sure why. It's kind of weird that they have him have the battle harp as episode 1. And this is only episode 12, and we're introducing a second motorcycle for him. It's unknown exactly the reason why they decided to introduce this, but my guess is they probably want a bigger motorcycle for him to ride. That's possible, because the Battle Hopper is quite small, so they need a bigger one. They probably need one the size equivalent of the older Kamen Rider machine, the motorcycles they used to drive. So that's probably the reason for that, and plus also the previous Kamen Rider, who had a series one, he had two. ZX, I think he had one, but that's probably the reason. And plus, it's the same color scheme. Just by sheer coincidence, it's the same exact color scheme as the Cyclone, which is white, blue, white, red, and black. Sweet, yes. Interesting idea, and the fact that it's made by a famous motorcycle driver. And the guy who appears in this episode, this is actually his sole appearance. And supposedly Shenmue was in this episode, but he's probably still, like, frozen. Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't woken up just yet, per se. It's strange though. He's credited being in this episode, but he's not actually here. No, I don't remember him seeing here, but yeah, he's listed here as a guest star. Yeah, I'm not sure why the subject has physically put in the episode. So the missing biker is Yasho Daman. Yeah, apparently this fellow was engineering. By the way, this guy only appears for one episode. And I've never seen it again. Then we have, where in the episode we have, let's have the go and kidnap women who just gave birth to brand new children. And gave birth and kidnap them to basically raise monsters for a crab monster. Also, we get new strengthening moves for the Kamen kick and punch. Yeah, it's interesting, that Black is the first one to have the punch, basically, as his arsenal of moves. Yeah, just updated thing, and here's a fun fact for you. Episode 13 is the last episode to air in 1987. And now we're into 1988 with episode 14. Yeah, it's all about basically finding Tuna. We all see the brief return. Now, there's one character credited being in this episode, but he's not actually in the episode. And that's Sengosa. I'm not sure why they put him here for. They feel like he's not actually here. Maybe he was supposed to be in the episode, but not here. The Creation King is not here either. So, basically, the mad scientist returns in this episode. Yes. Yes, he does. Yeah, he makes his return here. After last appearing back in episode frickin' 10 of the series. Yeah. And his penultimate appearance in the entire series. He does make one more appearance after this in episode 19. And that sadly is it for him. Yeah. There's all things about strengthening the monster with this special formula. And of course, basically, this is about freezing stuff with this one. It's a very cool episode, as we put it. Yeah, it's quite interesting what it is. Basically, having a mammoth monster, which this actually is the first time I've seen where they have a basically an elephant-themed monster that I can think of. Probably not since last one on top of my head that was a elephant-themed monster for Kamen Rider that I could think of was General Tusk from V3. I think he was the last one they had. And the thing is, the Mammoth one is not one they revisit very often. No, not really. It's quite something. I'm not sure exactly why they decided to revisit basically brought back this whole thing. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Oh, it's well, think Baron Kiba also was Baron Tusk. He was the last one I can think of who basically was considered basically a monster like this. Yeah, apparently he also briefly appeared in episode number 11, and he gets killed off in this episode, which makes him the only monster appeared in more than one episode. Yeah, they have some of these monsters appeared in more than one episode, and I think the Mammoth Monster is the first one appeared in more than one. He appears actually in like 2 episodes. And you're thinking, okay, what about the other monster appearances like the Crab Mutant? Which I think the Crab is actually the first one I've seen in a while. He also appeared in episode 11 as well. Yeah, it's something that they bring his monster back, and I think he briefly appeared in episode number, probably via stock footage for episode 14. It is interesting the fact they do this. Mm-hmm. There's also the Longhorn Mutant, and he basically, the whole thing with him is that he basically shoots out silk. Yeah, and he appears in 12, and the whole thing with him is basically, he's actually working with the Bat Mutant to get the motorcycle on the road sector. Yeah, pretty good episodes of what they are. So basically, at this point in time, episode 14, before I take my break, I have 16 more episodes left to go before I take my break. Overall, the whole series, how many is left? Let's see. 10, I think there's about 37 episodes left to go for the whole series. You're thinking, really? 37? Yes, because the thing is, 51 episodes. Take away 14, it's like 57. 37, excuse me. So yeah, that's that particular view. Next episode, Kamen Corner is on the Mishuku Tensei next. Okay, next view. Bye.